I myself am a natural born closer. I was born with a natural skill that allowed me to close. Most people struggle when it comes to selling. So that's really what the straight line was. It was unpacking my own sales strategy. And by doing that, it turned them into world-class closers too.
Welcome to Finfolk Podcast.
Hi folks, welcome back to Finfolk Podcast. I'm Brian Purwohartono. I'm your host for today's episode podcast. Our guest today is known for his remarkable journey portrayed in the iconic film, The Wolf of Wall Street. But beyond the silver screen, he is an acclaimed author, motivational speaker, and a master of sales and persuasion. Hello, Mr. Jordan Belfort.
Hello.
Thanks for coming to Indonesia.
My pleasure.
Can you introduce yourself to our viewers, maybe?
Yes, so my name is Jordan Belfort, also known as the Wolf of Wall Street. And here I am to answer all your questions.
Sure, okay. So let's get to the point, okay, Mr. Great. Jordan? Wolf of Wall Street is a very, very popular movie. And you are the real Wolf of Wall Street. How does it feel to have your life stories portrayed in the movies?
It's strange to say the least. I mean, obviously, I've gotten used to the idea because it's been, a major hit. And now it's the 10-year anniversary coming up, right? So I think the interesting thing with The Wolf of Wall Street is, many people have movies made about their lives. Not many with Leonardo DiCaprio playing you, right? But I mean, even Leo's played other people, and typically a movie will come out. It's very popular, then it sort of fades away. But The Wolf of Wall Street never faded away. It just became a cult hit. And it's to this very day, it's people watch it again and again and again. So it's a sort of never-ending thing where, like, I'll turn on Netflix and I see my own movies there, right? Yeah. Or I'll turn, just flick in the channels on regular TV in the United States, and it's always on some channel playing somewhere. So it's wherever I go, wherever I walk through an airport or in the street, people come up and they want pictures and stuff like that. And but it's listen, it's also given me the ability to travel the whole world and to help people all over with their sales, investing, and building business. So it's given me a platform. I'm very fortunate like that. That the movie is sort of this never-ending. It's the gift that keeps on giving, so to speak.
So this movie is becoming your instrument to share more to the world about your story, about your insight, about your skill, and motivates a lot of young people in the world. Yeah.
So I think, what happens is I notice after so many years how people age up with the movie. So they saw the movie the first time, they might have been 14 years old. But now they're 24, they're in the workplace, and they're either own their own business or they work for a company. And so, you see people grow with the movie over time. I have fans that are very, very young, 10-year-old kids, and I have fans, men in their 70s and 80s. So it's a phenomenon for sure, and it just keeps going. So I'm fortunate.
Sure. I think let's move on to the next question. Sales, persuasion is at the core of your skill set.
Right.
Even you say that you were born as one of the greatest closer.
Right.
But how did you initially recognize your talent in these skills, and what motivates you to revamp?
So I recognized that I always was selling something even when I was younger. A newspaper route, knocking on doors to shovel driveways after snowstorms. But the real first sales, like hard selling, where I was selling something to someone they weren't expecting to buy, and with a lot of money involved. When I was in my early 20s, my first job out of college, and my first day I broke the company record. So I realized I had this really natural ability that was very, very, very over the top. And from that moment forward, I was always the top producer wherever I went in any business. And then I quickly learned that I also had the ability to train other people to sell as well. And that was probably an even more valuable skill, was not only could I sell myself, but I had the ability to teach other people to sell. Eventually, I stumbled upon a new way to train salespeople. I created a system for it, which is really what much of the success of Stratton was attributed to, was this system I invented called the straight line.
Straight line, yes.
And it allowed me to take pretty much anybody and turn them into a top-notch, world-class closer. So yeah, it was a skill that I recognized at a very young age. And then I worked hard to hone that skill to as close to perfection as you can get, and then teach it to other people around the world.
Oh, cool. Talking about straight line, syntax. Oh, I watch a lot of your videos in class school and your YouTube about the straight line syntax. I'm curious about one thing, Mr. Jordan, because on the first step in a straight line syntax, you say that we have to gain control. We have to make people willing to give the control of the conversation before we can sell or do presentation, any of that. People must willing to give the control to us. And you say to gain control, we need to maintain our tonality, body language. People must trust us. People must look at to us as a capable one. But in Indonesia, Mr. Jordan, there are a lot of businesses that not using face-to-face marketing as their funnel. Let's say they use digital marketing as their marketing funnel. So from website with a call to action to WhatsApp. So there is no opportunity to do this kind of conversation face-to-face. How to establish, how to implement the straight line syntax in that kind of marketing funnel?
Okay, so there's many different sort of strategies on this continuum of how you sell someone a product, right? Yeah. So what you're talking about is the extreme example where you go onto a website and it's just literally text written and product being shown and a call to action to buy, and they buy, right? And that's the beginning and the end of it. In most companies, though, it's not really the way it works. So what happens is they might start off on a website, and there might be a product they buy that maybe it's under $100 or under $50, whatever it is. But ultimately, when they want to sell them more complex items, higher price points, someone speaks to the person. So they might generate the lead or close the initial sale online, but then have calls going out about more advanced programs. That's very common in the business world. Also, many times when you go to websites, there might be videos on the sites and people talking on the videos, in which case you now are using the straight line when you talk on a video. In other words, like essentially when you're selling on video online, right? You're essentially have both you're at both sides of the conversation. Like, no one is there to ask you questions or interrupt you. So you're essentially asking and answering your own questions, right? But you're doing the same things. The same things have to line up in traditional face-to-face sale, that the prospect who's looking at the video or reading the text in a website still thinking the same things. They're just getting the information without a human being there. So the same things still line up. So you could still use the same techniques on video and in the text that you write. And if you notice, like, there are certain rules when you see well-written sales letters or well-crafted websites where they might have, a certain amount of information and they have a call to action. And then it keeps going, more information, another call. So that's like sort of the equivalent of what we call the straight line looping pattern. So there is an equivalent that runs online as well.
Cool. So it means we still can implement the straight line system in every marketing funnel.
Yes, you could certainly improve your funnel by infusing straight line tactics into your messaging and the way you deliver that message online. Yeah, for sure.
In one of your videos I watched before, there's an interesting story about your experience with your initial 12 members at your company when you're trying to change your customer segments, to sell more expensive stock, to a big boys market, maybe big boys lake. But you say that only you and your partner, Danny, if I'm not wrong, who can close the deals. Those 12s cannot. What differentiates you and your team, and what did you do to solve that?
So speaking broadly, I myself am a natural born closer. I was born with a natural skill that allowed me to close. Danny is natural born closer too. I taught Danny how to sell, but he had natural ability, right? And we're not the only two in the world. There are many people in the world, natural born closers, but it's a very small percentage of the world, maybe like 0.1% of the world. Most people struggle when it comes to selling, right?
Sure.
So the distinction between Danny and myself was that we were both natural born closers and others, well, were not. When I invented the straight line, essentially what I did, what the straight line really was a way that allowed me to take the skill that I naturally had and transfer it to someone that was not a natural born closer so they could close in the same way that Danny and I did. So that's really what the straight line was. It was unpacking my own sales strategy, and it allowed me to teach it to people in a way that they could understand and visualize what was really happening when they closed the sale. And by doing that, it turned them into world-class closers too. So essentially it allowed me to take people that normally would not be able to close a difficult sale like that and teach them the strategy I was using. Before the straight line, I just couldn't figure out how to get them to do what I was doing. So that was what the straight line did.
So system is really important.
Yeah.
System is really important to transform someone.
Exactly. It could take any person and make them into a very effective closer.
Including me, because I'm a tech guy. I'm not good at sales.
So listen, what I always say is that, it's like, I love playing tennis, right? And I've taken a lot of lessons. I play with I'm really good. I'm sure I'll kick your ass, right? But you put me on the court with Roger Federer, I'm going to get destroyed. I don't have the natural ability. But I can get really good, but I'm never going to be one of the greatest in the world. So I'm not saying that with the straight line, you could take someone that has no natural ability at all and turn them into me. I don't think that's true. But what you can do is make them good enough. You could take anybody, make them good enough so they'll be good enough that their lack of sales ability doesn't hold them back from achieving success.
Okay, interesting. I want to ask you one more question, I guess, Mr. Jordan. If you can repeat, if you can redo your life, what things you are willing to maybe change the way you did before? Some things maybe you regret in the past. And if I did that, maybe my life will be better than this.
So I think that, I'm very, very fortunate that I got to make the mistakes that I made. And somehow it led me to this moment, these last 10 years of my life, where I've had the ability to go around the world and have a brand and empower people and help people and make a lot of money too. And be loved by my clients and the people that I help. So that's an amazing life I have today. So I wouldn't want to change anything, because I love my life today. I love the woman I'm married to. I love where I live. I have healthy children. So, it's hard to say I want to change something that would then reverberate and make the life I have today something different. I love my life today. But of course, if I could cherry pick something and have the wonderful life I have today, but, never have made some mistakes, I would have never, done something that could have landed me in jail. I wouldn't have wanted to go to jail. But ironically, jail turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I used that time to learn how to write a book. And that book led to a movie, which created this new and even better life.
Yeah.
So it's hard to look back. But of course, I would have never liked to lose people money in the stock market. I would have never wanted to go to jail. But I think that it's a much healthier way to look at your life, is to say, now I'm going to look back and say what I regret and what I would change, as much as what can I learn from the mistakes that I made and the successes I've had, to keep being a better version of myself, to keep getting better, growing, becoming better, stronger. That's what I try to do.
So is there any goals that you want to achieve in your life? In this age?
At this point in my life, I've accomplished so much, and I'm very grateful for everything that I've been able to accomplish and that the world has given to me. I've worked hard for it, no doubt. So, to me, I'd probably, the next 20 years or so, really, of a lot more stuff, just really spreading a message about proper investing, really helping people. I think people really don't get investing. So I just finished a new book. It's coming out in a few weeks. Called The Wolf of Investing, which is really a handbook. It's like a turnkey solution that tells someone really how to make money in the stock market and build massive wealth the right way. And I think that's something I really want to be focusing on, because people work hard for their money, and most people just don't invest wisely, and they need to learn the rules of investing.
So you want to share more to the young generation, to the world, how to do their financially right. Okay, Mr. Jordan, any last advice maybe for our viewers? People in their 20s?
Yeah, I think that, you live once, right? You know, you can believe in past lives and future lives of reincarnation, but you have one life to live, right? And I think that whatever your dreams are, I think that so many people don't live and really go after their dreams. They live and they sacrifice, they settle, and they don't really live life burning bright. I would like just tell you to live bright, live at the highest level. You know what I'm saying? Go for your dreams. Don't settle and play it safe. Take some risk in life, and also learn, but don't risk without knowing the rules of success. So educate yourself how to be an entrepreneur, how to start a business, how to sell. So all the information that you need to succeed is out there. But don't be scared to risk. Take some risks in life.
Take some risks in life and
Yes.
keep learning, keep
Learning
growing.
and growing yourself, but don't settle for average. Average sucks.
Average sucks. Don't be a duck, like you said. Okay, folks. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope this podcast will give you a lot of insights, knowledge for your business, for your growth, and for you personally. Thank you, Mr. Jordan, once again for your time, for your knowledge, for your insight. I hope you enjoy and keep watching FinFolk Podcast. We will have a lot of interesting episodes with a lot of great speakers coming. Thank you. See you.